Hey guys, it's BlockchainBrad, and today, as always, I'm very honored to speak with Denny Weinberger. Denny, thank you so much, mate, for being on the channel.
Brad, thank you so much for having me back. Super excited to be here again, of course. Hello, everybody. Hello.
We are excited, and obviously, if you don't know, Denny is the CEO of Morpheus Network, a very exciting supply chain blockchain design, and something that's going to potentially revolutionize the way in which supply chain really addresses the needs of the market. So Denny, obviously it's April, let's look at an update. There's lots of things going on. Let's first talk about a very exciting change, and that is your MVP release.
Yes. Well, we released our MVP for everyone to see, basically. It's obviously been a work in progress for a long time, but so obviously we loved our MVP. We think it's, one of the slickest platforms out there, and we invite everybody to go onto just on our website Morpheus.network and watch the. It's a 15-minute video, so I find the entire 15 minutes very interesting, but definitely look at some of the highlights in the video, which include the different modules that we're integrating with, including obviously the shipping companies like DHL, which Roger Crook, who's a part of the video as well, was very happy to see as one of the integrating companies we're dealing with. So
we're so happy that you're happy. Obviously, you're going to be, because it's subjective. You are the CEO. But let's unpack it for those who may not know so much about supply chain and why potentially it is so good, Denny. Obviously, MVP, which refers to the minimum viable product, something that is essentially a tester for any project that comes from a business. So there's a number of key features that do come with your MVP, and having watched that 15-minute video, Denny, that you were talking about, one thing that's very clear is that it's simple. The user interface is really simple. Someone like me who doesn't have the skills you have in the supply industry certainly could use it.
Yeah, most definitely. That's kind of the angle, the entire design of the platform, because the technology that you're leveraging are quite complex, of course, right? But we want to give people a way to actually use these technologies without being, a developer or having some sort of background in, some blockchain technique that they know nothing about. They can go on this super easy to use platform. You just, click on what you need to use, basically, set up your contract the way it makes sense to you as a business owner, however you're running your business. How your payments have to come in, the schedule of your payments, how you like to do your shipping. It's all just built in. You can customize it for your specific business. So
exactly.
Like you said, it's simplicity is essential to get going. And at the same time, we say it's simple, but that's one, let's say, organized smart contract that you can constantly have automated, and you can set up in we'll say infinite amount of smart contracts within the platform, and it turns out to be very complex. And you have smart contract objectives firing off a second here, second here, second there, right, and you're letting the whole system run that for you. So doing that manually in today's traditional world is close to impossible. Especially one person with one platform. It's from my opinion, just that alone is revolutionary.
Absolutely. And obviously someone very important did the review with you when you did that video, Denny. So let's talk about his credentials and why his view would matter, particularly.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Roger Crook, he's the one that did the video with me. He's a former CEO of DHL, which is I believe the largest logistics company on the planet. They have the furthest reach when it comes to the planet, when it comes to Asia, North America, all around the world, basically. And he coming from that background and being the CEO of that company, and sort of guiding us in a sense on how these supply chains should shape up, and giving us the confidence as a team to know that we're going in the right direction, and having his sort of experience and his networks and all that as well is just a huge added bonus. And we're looking forward to many years of working with Roger, and I think he was the perfect choice to show people, someone who understands how supply chain is, supposed to be put together, a global supply chain system. And, him and, not only, enjoying, the demonstration, obviously, but, believing in the entire platform, means a lot to me and to the entire team as well. And it should mean a lot to the entire community, let's
Absolutely.
relate it to, let's say, Michael Jordan of basketball, or LeBron James, because Michael Jordan's retired.
That's
So
right.
LeBron James, yeah,
It,
LeBron James basketball. That's Roger Crook when it comes to supply chain, if people don't know. So
Sure. So essentially, he's qualified. He's in the position in a CEO seat to really assess and analyze something of quality. I did want to mention two comments he did make. He said that he thinks that your platform can potentially change the world, and also it is a winner. So you have those references from one of the best people in the house when it comes to decentralized supply chain potential. But let's now talk about, I guess, a couple of those key features. One of them is you have a message system built in. So if you're trying to really organize your system, just how important is something like that, or your modules, for example?
do you know what? It's very important because certain companies have different warehouses, different people are heading up different departments, and staying in communication with everybody is very important. If you need an adjustment to inventory levels that you want to trigger a smart contract, you don't want things triggering off if you have parts coming from different places and people sort of dealing with different countries.
Sure.
It's important to have full communication and having that within the platform. And the way the system works actually is when an adjustment is made through the messaging system, everyone sort of gets that notification as well, especially if it's a part that interacts with the smart contract that someone else is sort of heading up. So yeah, it's essential. Obviously communication in all companies and all business and in almost everything is
Sure.
important. But
Well,
when it comes to affecting your sort of supply chain, then
Right. And Danny, that's a perfect segue into the modules, because one of the outstanding features is that with the message system is coupled with so many different big name modules. We're talking about shipping, payment, FedEx, Oracle, CS Storage, DHL. These are big names. And what you're essentially doing, as Roger was alluding to, you're linking these seamlessly together in one big web of information.
Most definitely, and these are amazing companies. Integrating with these networks that are established, multi-billion-dollar, around-the-world organizations that they're amazing, but at the same time, as amazing they are, they're disjointed, and they have all these different parts and pieces around. And someone who's actually run a business with a supply chain and knowing I have to bring all these parts together, it's complex. It shouldn't be this difficult,
Right.
And that's sort of the job that this platform gives you on top of obviously all the natural benefits of blockchain technology when it comes to recording everything on the blockchain as well, and leveraging all these different technologies to actually optimize every single individual step of your supply chain. So
Exactly, and that's what's beautiful about designs like yours, is that's the key word, is you're optimizing it. You're not just simply utilizing decentralized technology, but again, you're bringing them all together. So let's talk about some innovations in terms of your team, or some updates rather. You have some additional people to talk about, namely Charlie Shrem and also Simon Cocking as well.
yes, definitely. Well, Charlie, bringing him on the team is, obviously he's been an amazing asset. He's been a part of a lot of projects have been super successful, and he knows how to run a proper blockchain sort of organization. That we have Roger, obviously, that has been the CEO of DHL, knows everything about supply chain, and now we have Charlie as well on the team. And being able to collaborate with both of these people is just unbelievable. And Charlie, his confidence in what we're doing, and knowing that like breaking down the barriers when it comes to a global trade, and this platform is something that he not only is happy to be a part of, but he's looking forward to watching its effect on a global level,
Right.
which obviously is our mission. So
Well, we are excited. Obviously, you're getting someone that is essentially a celebrity, but let's talk about his credentials as well. Obviously, we want to know that he has that expertise before he even steps into the Morpheus Network domain. So what can you tell us about Charlie that really situates him well?
do you know what? His knowledge when it comes to, obviously payment systems, he's been a part of a bunch of different projects when it comes to payment systems, right? Not to mention his networks within the blockchain world as well. He's, bringing us different partnerships every single day. We're talking about, different connections we can make. And that's what's, honestly the best part about Morpheus Network is the ability to connect and integrate with all these different great networks out there. So that's when it comes to supply chain networks, that's hugely important for us to connect to and integrate with all these companies, but also when it comes to these blockchain technologies, because we are obviously looking to to the future. Right. And Charlie does have a great reach when it comes to connections throughout the industry, and and also when it comes to situations where we have to make, choices as a blockchain, a startup, having his experience, having someone to talk to about that, definitely is a boon in our.
It's certainly a boon, and it's invaluable as well. And what's exciting, Denny, is that with the sheer nature of you being a startup, as you said, you're building out with your ICO, you're building out your entire company. Essentially, you're also building out your boardroom. And this is what's exciting. We get to see that unfurl through the releases and through these, additional, members that are coming on board. So
I wanted to quickly mention Simon Cockney as well. Another amazing advisor has been, as a tremendous network when it comes to the blockchain industry. He's done TED Talks, and his knowledge within the industry is amazing too. So once again, you need a lot of advice. When it comes to this industry, people have been a part of so many more projects than I have. Because to be honest, this is my first, token sale and my first blockchain, project as well. So, like you said, building my boardroom and having all this experience around me, that making sure that any sort of choices I make, I like having the best of the world let me know that this is the right choice. We're going in the right direction. So,
and obviously, Denny, those people who are considering your utility, they no doubt are interested in the fact that you have that viewpoint, that you want to build out not just a boardroom, but a boardroom of excellence. So I'm sure many people in the world would appreciate that as they watch you again become a very strong position in a mainstay in the supply industry. So congratulations on that. Let's talk about your sale as well, Denny. Obviously, we're very close to the end of that.
Yeah, last couple of days actually for everyone to contribute. It's April 22nd is the last day at noon Eastern Standard Time, so that's New York or Toronto time.
Right.
So we obviously the more funds we put together, the better it is for all the contributors. I wanted to thank all the contributors that we have already. It's unbelievable. We've raised over $7 million in this market today. It's we're putting that towards this project that is coming together so beautifully. And honestly, people can see how advanced we are already with the MVP, which we call an MVP, but to be honest, it has a lot more capability and extension than a lot of MVPs who are just this. They really define the minimum viable product. I don't know if this one necessarily defines that necessarily.
I would tend to agree, having seen it, and obviously, guys, you can check it out online through Denny's illustration, but certainly it is quite robust.
Yes, and there's a lot of updates that people are going to see as well when it comes to the different modules. We sort of give you a little glimpse into that in this first video, but I look forward to showing you some more. And April 22nd, it is the last day to contribute when it comes to the token sale.
Right.
And whatever tokens aren't allocated will be burned, obviously, from the leftover token sale.
I see. So essentially, what that means for those who don't know is that whatever isn't utilized will reduce the overall cap of that particular. The token itself.
Exactly.
And hence make it more scarce. But obviously we wish you all the very best for it right up until the very last moment. And also, Denny, despite all of these many exciting things, there's more to come. And one of them is that you joined the EEA, the Ethereum Enterprise Network, recently. That's pretty cool. Tell us about that.
Oh, we're super excited about that. Join an organization that's got, Fortune 500 companies and, one of the largest developer networks in the world, let alone the blockchain community, but in the world when it comes to, people putting their mindset together on a daily basis. I get their supply chain newsletter, and, I love it. I absolutely love being a part of this, this alliance, and, the connections, we're making through the alliance are just going to, grow as time goes on. And, we're super proud and happy to be a part of it.
Awesome.
So.
And speaking of connections, one thing that is worth broaching is that you are connected with Swift. We all know that, but essentially what is important to recognize is that the reach of some of the companies that you are connecting with is quite extensive, and that is relevant to your plan, no doubt, to become a global entity.
Exactly. A Swift initiated wire transfer. Swift is, their reach is unreal. They actually, 1,600 banks around the world, 200 countries all around the world, over 11,000 banks and financial institutions around the world that you can reach, through the Swift network. So Swift initiated transfer is amazing when it comes to obviously sending payments across. Right. That obviously involves, the banking system, centralized banking system. Traditional global trade nowadays relies on that system as well. We want people to actually be able to, contribute to, their global trade transactions. So we're bridging that gap when it comes to traditional payments, and we're doing that, through the Swift network, obviously, because you can branch out to 200 countries around the world and all different currencies as well. So on top of it, though, we do have multiple payment flows. So we have full cryptocurrency payment system as well, which is integrating with Stellar, which is unbelievable when it comes to payments. I'm sure everyone's heard of Stellar, but really people necessarily don't look into how amazing of a technology it is to actually use it as a payment system and not necessarily as an, something to be used as an investment tool or whatever they're looking at it for. But the actual payments are, as close to free as you can get for global payments. It's really unbelievable. So,
and obviously
that technology to the platform, making it easy to use basically through the Morpheus network. So.
Sure, and obviously Jed McCaleb would appreciate that. He is obviously someone who did design some very significant payment rail systems and is certainly qualified in that seat. So yeah, let's now talk about I guess the reach of your advisors. It goes as far as Deloitte, even DHL Global, in the sense that what's the plan in the future, Denny? Can you tell us more about partnerships that you know of, anything at all, to seal the deal for those who are really wondering just how big Morpheus can be?
Yeah, right now what we're doing is our network is growing, right? And the actual users of the platform are the partners that we're reaching out to when it comes to the importers and exporters. Now, you mentioned obviously that Brian Taylor, Deloitte LLP, Donna Stopper, TD Canada Trust. All these different advisors and networks that we're putting together is actually to create this business in a proper way. We want this to work, and you got to have it from the base up. You got to build up to that, right? So having the right people, like you said, having the boardroom, building your boardroom table around you with all these people is definitely what we're looking to do. And for global reach right now, the companies that we're dealing with, we're going to be testing in Russia, sending payments off all around the world to receiving companies who are excited to test out the platform. We have companies, hundreds of companies who are ready to test it, and we're going to choose the best companies capable of actually being involved in global trade and using the platform successfulully once it's globally launched, and be able to try it out now, and that's going to accelerate the the adoption of the platform in the long run. So super excited about that, and if anybody else wants to test out the platform, they want to join the possible testing pool, then obviously they can reach out to us as well through the website, and more than happy to discuss that that prospect as well. So
I see. So Denny, obviously there's been so much going on. You're clearly in the hot seat. You are the CEO. You're very busy, no doubt, building out this exciting project. April's been good to you. There's a lot of things happening. Really looking forward to the next update. Hopefully we can do this again very soon, and really showcase the growth as you evolve into arguably one of the world's most prominent decentralized supply chains for now and beyond.
No, I appreciate that, and as always, I had a tremendous time, and thank you so much for having me on. You're a gentleman, of course, and to anybody else who has any questions about Morpheus Network, about myself, about our team, about the MVP, anything about the platform modules, anything at all, feel free to shoot us an email, go through the website, whatever you want, and we try to be as communicative as possible. Join the Telegram group, right? So yeah.
Very well said, Denny. I mean, I'm sure you could talk for hours about everything about Morpheus Network, but we really do look forward to hearing more about you in the next update. We wish you all the very best, and certainly the MVP was very exciting.
Thank you. Yes, for me as well. Thank you, Brad.
Not a problem,
Definitely
mate.
Talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Take care, mate.